Pow, pow. All right, we're rolling. This is Freedom Phil. Like, subscribe. Let's get into it. What's the topic here? Considering the cost of nursing homes these days, what would be a wasteland nursing home? Wasteland nursing home? What are you talking about? I think it's a little weird when you look at just how much money spent on nursing homes. Is there a better way to do this? Yeah, Freedom Phil, like, subscribe, let's get into it. And hey, turn up the video speed. Why do I say that? Because you watch videos faster. That's why the channel is called Turn Up the Video Speed. If you choose to upload this, you should be watching at least at 1.75. Let's get into it. So, I just was scrolling through shorts, and they did show that one of The Simpsons where it turned out that Bart was running a nursing home out of the house. And so he was just taking the money, and all these other people's taking the money to house basically Homer and all his friends in the house. And Lisa was pissed. But I'm just sitting there thinking about it, and I'm like, no, hold up for a second. If you got a family member that's actually willing to take care of you in old age, why shouldn't they get paid? Get paid? Don't you love your... No, just hold up. Your parents should have their act together enough throughout the course of their life to where they could afford a nursing home on their own. Well, they were taking care of you. Nah, a lot of them were taking care of themselves. A lot of them were out there spending that money on new cars and fashionable this. We want a Harley. We need new furniture. We need a better zip code. And they just ran their lives in debt. And then it comes down the road. You got some family members. I got a couple brothers that are basically fucking useless. One ain't done shit with his life. Productively, he actually ran the scam long enough to be doing. And the other one, he had some problems with epilepsy. My sister and me are the only ones that really did fuck all shit. And she's highly productive. But, people have this attitude of when people get old, what do you do with them? What do you do with them? We got to put them somewhere. Like, I got to be honest, when I go back to working, it's going to be one of those things where I'm not going to be able to sit around and just waste my time. So people will be like, well, we're going to have to sell their house and maybe put them in a home and blah, blah, blah. But you look at the cost of a nursing home these days, assisted living center, and some of them, you're talking $9,000 a month. You're looking like some of these places, like it was like $130,000 a year. Now, why is it? If you had a situation where a family member could be taking care of a handful of family members, hopefully they're not crazy and delirious, how some people get when they get Alzheimer's, why shouldn't that person be getting paid? They're your family. No, whoa. So it's good to hand the money to some company that hires a bunch of people that do not give a shit about your family, but paying a family member a fair wage to take care of, like, whether, like if they were doing the daycare or they were doing the home nursing assistant. Like, imagine that you have a big house and you got some kids you're taking care of during the day and you're helping take care of the elders. Elders are teaching the youngins the ways of your people, just like I've seen this with First Nations people. You got to get the old with the young to teach the language, teach the cultural ways of cooking, and teach the ways of foraging food. By the way, that's a dog hell cactus. I don't know what they're really called. Somehow we've gotten away from that in America. That if you were to say, I expect to be paid for the sacrifice of basically not being able to go out and make the money that I could have been making in those years. And the other family members will be all like, I can't believe you're greedy. What the fuck you mean greedy? I don't see all you stepping up. And then people are more likely to say, well, let's send them to the nursing home. In some cases, let's just be honest, some of your parents are fucking assholes. And they were always assholes. And ain't nobody want to deal with them. They're like, yeah, let's just sell off the house and send them to the home. Because them motherfuckers could rot. God called 10 years ago when you had a stroke or a heart attack, and all these Jesus people. I believe in the Lord. You believe in the Lord so much, why you keep on going back to the doctor to keep you from meeting him? Believe in the Lord, my ass, motherfucker. They're like, deep down, some of your parents out there, they know they've done some evil shit over the course of their life. I don't want to meet God anytime soon. I got to repent for another 10, 15 years. But how do we come to nursing home in the wasteland? Because some people, they can't afford no $9,000 a month. Shit, you talk about some fraud, industrial scam. That's some BlackRock shit there. And by the way, if there's some government assistance to put people in a nursing home or for daycare, why can't that be your own family? Why can't you get the money? But how would I do a wasteland nursing home? The other day, I was looking at this, it was called a Puma trailer. It's a little tiny trailer, not just a small Puma 123 or 122 or something like that. Has a bed, has a little bathroom with a little shower, and it has a cooking area. Literally, that's all, if you're a single old person, you need, you know? And you could have a situation where you could actually have nomadic people rolling around. You know, you got your elderly relatives and y'all have your own trailers, and you stay in an area for a time and you take care of each other. Because, you know, they're old and frankly, they ain't do fuck all shit with their life. So you can't afford no $9,000 a month. What the fuck is that? All for some likely foreigner that hates, you know, taking care of the relative. But yeah, you got a situation where, you know, you got one relative, they got like an RV or something, they could pull another vehicle behind them. And you have enough people all looking out for each other. You got like a old folks home. We're like, well, what if somebody has a medical thing? Then we'll throw them in the 4x4 and we'll fucking bolt it to town. Hopefully, got one or two people that understand some medical shit. But that is one thing about the wasteland. You might be out in the middle. You might be a ways from town. So, you know, that ambulance ride costs how much? No, I'm going to be in the back of a 4x4, brother. You know, we're loading you into a Bronco from the 80s. Full-size Bronco. Get in. A Jeep. Fucking cue the A-Team music. We'll get like one of those Willys Jeeps. But yeah, no, I mean, like this thing where it's like, I've seen people out in the waste occasionally where you have a family and they're all just kind of taking care of each other. You even have the kids there on the weekends. Usually it's like some dude's divorced. Then his old man, maybe the dude's divorced, got a girlfriend and shit. Kids show up on the weekend and they all kind of just live together. There's a lot of people in America, if we're being honest about it, that's about what they can afford because of the choices they made throughout the course of their lives. But if you think for a second, if you had a house that was worth $500,000 and you sold that for $500,000 and then took that money and invested it and you're making at least 10% on that, that's 50 grand a year increasing to on top of your Social Security and whatever else you had. That's a good life in the wasteland. I think that sounds like a hell of a better nursing home. It doesn't have to just be the wasteland. It could be like, you know, part of the year you're down in the dry area down here where it's warm. And then the other part you go up into the hills. And then, you know, you got that so-called irresponsible relative. And you're like, well, Dad, you and the uncles and maybe an aunt, maybe the aunts stay around and, you know, have their hen pecking parties back at the camp. And they, because these days you'd be out in the middle of nowhere with a Starlink, or even you get cell phone service. You'd be still watching your shows like you were in town. But Dad and the uncles, maybe the grandkids, well, let's take out the pontoon boat and go fishing. Sounds a hell of a lot better to me than what you see going on with these nursing homes. And I'm not talking like when you're almost dead nursing home. I'm talking, you know, like Grandpa Simpson. He's still walking around, still having conversations. That's a guy that can still do shit. What I'm offering is a hell of a lot better than what they're taking from you. But you know, the thing of it is that, and I said it before, I'll say it again. The minute that a family sees that, like, hey, one family member is going to get paid to take care of this situation, that's when they all are like, you're a greedy cocksucker for expecting something. And you're stupid for giving it away to somebody outside the family. It's this divide and conquer strategy all over America. Y'all don't hear me. They waste your time in your youth. They have you in school for 13 years. You should walk out of high school with a full-fledged trade. You should know how to drive a truck, be a tax accountant, and know how to do plumbing, electrician, or one of those trades. You have 3 trades by the time you leave school. You don't need to know a bunch of science and mathematics you ain't never going to fucking use. If you want to be that person, that's fine. But actually learn that shit and then go take it and learn your college from home. Then college, how much do they take out of you? And then you got to pay back interest. Then you got to have the cars. And then the house. Well, honey, she wants that car. She wants her SU. She wants a Mercedes Benz. How much do they get out of you then? Then you have kids, and we all got to live in the right zip code because we'll have better schools in this zip code. You want to make better kids, parents that tutor their fucking children. And wait a minute, we got a whole older generation out there that has a lot of knowledge. Why don't we have the elders tutor the young? Oh shit, that means everybody that would require you not to be a selfish fucking boomer or a Gen Xer. Let's try to do that. Dark Crystal. The fucking, what was it, Chancellor. But seriously. And then you get all the way through your life and they get to that point where they're like, let's have some fun. Let's go buy our third home. Pissed away money, pissed away time. And some of them end up just fucking it up, going full Peggy Bundy with the money. Like, how much of Al's life was just literally paying Peggy's fuck-ups? And then they come to you and they're like, well, who's going to take care of mom or dad? Shit, you could even sell that house to one of your own relatives that's now coming up in the world. Keep the money within the family, like have, an owner-carry contract, just in case they try to fuck you. But instead, no, it's divide and conquer. Brother against brother. And then when it comes to the old age homes, labor ain't cheap. Labor ain't cheap. 37 people here, only 2 likes. By the way, if you want to say something, you hit that subscribe button. That's a fair thing, man. Subscribing's free. That's how you scare off viewers, by the way. Seriously. You could buy like a good used RV camper for like 10 to 20,000. And you could just have a few vehicles all working together. Like have your own little wagon wheel of people all doing the cooking together. Get yourself like, one of those either drop toilets or composting toilets set up. Figure out your water. We have like an organization. Everybody looking out and take care of each other. I think that's a hell of a lot better nursing home than the shit that they're putting old people into right now. But most people, you got to break them out of their comfort, make them uncomfortable temporarily. You got to, it's the wasteland, man. You pick any fucking desert state. It's the wasteland. You got to break them out of their shell, get them out of their comfort zone, and then show them that you can have all the same things out here for them, damn near almost everything. I mean, these days we've even got it to where off solar we produce so much extra energy we could recharge a car. We charge the e-bikes. We can run an air fryer. We got ovens. We got it all. And that's the thing about it. But when you suggest any of these sorts of things, everybody just rolls their eyes like you're suggesting, people living like in Fallout or some shit. No. But yeah, man. And here's another thought. You could even have different holdings. You could have different holdings. You could have a place where you have a northern area piece of property, you could have a southern area, and you just kind of change with the temperatures. And you think about how much you could be saving. All right, let's read some comments. You seem angry. Well, let me suggest for you. Let me suggest for you. Maybe we'll see you tomorrow. If I'm angry because I'm a passionate person, you know, if I seem angry to you, it's maybe that I'm not angry. It's that you're a fucking pussy. You got too much sand in your vagina and everything fucking scares you because you're a grass-eating motherfucker. That's the problem with a lot of these motherfuckers. I'm scared. I gotta control you through my emotions. Fuck you. There's the door. You lucky I didn't just block you right there. In fact, when I start blocking people, here's how it's gonna roll. I'm going to start telling you that I just timed you out. I did not block you. I timed you out. And then they'll be screaming into the sun when they go there and they're like commenting, why no for he'd respond to my comment? A lot of times I don't respond to a lot of people's comments, just to be real, because a lot of you motherfuckers ain't got nothing worth hearing, reading. You gotta look at it and I'm like, shit. You know. Oh shit, we got a motherfucker out here. Alright, this is Freedom Phil, like and subscribe. What's this motherfucker doing out here? Yeah, who is this guy? Alright, Freedom Phil, like and subscribe, take it easy. There's a motherfucker.